Now, you might look at this and say, well, over this $1 million, you're only earning $90,000, Lucas. That's not that great. And what I want to double click on here is on $180,000, I'm earning $90,000. Bear market, bull market, green days, red days, markets are up, markets are down. Everyone's fighting about it. Where's the market going to go? Is it going to crash? Is it going to go to all-time highs? What I love about DeFi is no matter what the market is doing, I earn cash flow to the tune of well over $90,000 every single year. And I want to break some of this down. Now, I am using DeFi Buddy to track a portion of my portfolio. I want to be really upfront. I do have over $2.5 million in the crypto markets as of right now. And I am adding more every single week, especially the more pain the markets see, the more I add, and the more fear the markets are seeing, the more I add. But this portfolio, I have about $1 million of Bitcoin. It's not tracking Bitcoin yet. I do want to reveal the roadmap in a second. And right now we track Uniswap, Aerodrome, Orca. We just integrated VFAT. I'll share the updates on that. And so I am on DEXs and I am in LPs that aren't being tracked by DeFi Buddy yet, but it's coming. Now, you might look at this and say, well, over this $1 million, you're only earning $90,000, Lucas. That's not that great. And what I want to double click on here is on $180,000, I'm earning $90,000. These assets are earning nothing. These are some longer term holdings. This is mostly going to be ETH and SOL. This lending and borrowing makes me, I don't know, 3 or 4% as of right now, probably even less because the markets are not very juicy at the moment. So these liquidity pools, and I'm doing around 40% right now. And again, the markets are really, really choppy. We're going to double click on that here. So you can see my lending only makes what, 3.78%, a whole $16,000 per year or $1,300 per month, which is awesome, but it's a very small portion of my portfolio. Now, you will notice this number every week will be dropping because I am deploying capital in about $25,000 chunks every single week. I deploy more capital. When markets are greedy, I pull profit. And when they're red and doom and gloomy and everyone thinks it's over, I deploy capital and I deploy it all the way down. And even then, I'm still zoomed out far enough that I'm looking 10 years out. Bitcoin's $1 million asset. Right now, it's super cheap. Sure, it's a little cheaper at 80 grand, or it's a little more expensive at 120, but it's $1 million asset. I don't really care for the short term. So we do see that $16,000 of this 90 comes from lending and borrowing. So that leaves us, what, $60, $70, $75,000 that comes from LPs, from at least what DeFi Buddy can track. So that's around a 40% APR. Let's see how accurate I am. We'll move over into liquidity pools. By the way, DeFi Buddy is free. DeFiBuddy.io. We ourselves fund it. CryptoLabs Research funds it. Also, a portion of our portfolio funds it, and then $1 from every UIG membership funds development. So as a UIG member, you are contributing, so you know. And UIG is just turning into one big badass community where we don't get, how could I call it? We don't let the market sentiment or what's happening on Twitter and on YouTube affect our thesis and our long-term investment plans. We stay the course and we become wealthy because of it. And this is what's awesome. I'm sitting on $5,858 in uncollected fees. No matter what the market is doing, I keep getting paid. And with this $5,858, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy more assets, build my treasury. So yes, my overall portfolio dollar value fluctuates wildly during these markets. I'm not immune to that. Now, we do hedge our positions, but even then, you're going to see your portfolio fluctuates. By the way, if you do want a video on hedging, just let me know in the comments below. Happy to make one. But the point is, your portfolio is going to fluctuate no matter what. You're never going to get it perfect. But I still am making 40% on my assets with assets I'd hold anyways to the tune of $6 grand a month. And again, it's a little closer to 12, which I know isn't insanely great. But with the way the markets are right now, I am a little less risk on. I am way wider ranges, and I'm happy with this. Now, I do have some positions that are out of range. You can see this position here. This position is out of range. I made a really bad call with this one, but I'm okay. I'm holding ETH anyways. Now, over here, you can see we did incorporate VFAT recently. So if you do use VFAT, you'll be able to track it on DeFiBuddy.io now. So again, highly recommend checking out. But my point is, over here on DeFi Buddy, I entered this position about an hour ago because I wanted to test VFAT. I follow my rules. I'm in an asset I would hold long-term anyways. I am okay to dollar cost average into more ETH if the price of ETH goes down further. I'm just buying it back at cheaper prices. ETH is a 10K asset to me in the future, so I don't care about all the short-term noise. And no matter what the market is doing, I earn cash flow. There's really only 3 ways to become financially free. I'm going to drop a little alpha here. Before I do, if you do want to see anything else on this channel, do let me know in the comments below. Any topics, any questions, maybe you want to see something on VFAT, do let me know in the comments below. There's 3 ways to become financially free. 1, you get a big payday. You exit a company, or you get some payout, or you win the lottery, or you get an inheritance. You get $10 million, and as long as that $10 million could sustain your lifestyle or the burn until you die, you're by definition financially free. Now, that's not accessible to most people, nor was it for me, but you don't have to invest to become financially free. If you're sitting on enough cash to last you a lifetime, you're financially free. Now, 2 is you create some leverage in your life. So maybe you have a company, you're a sought out professional, and in 5 hours of work a week, you're trading time for money, but in 5 or 10 hours of work a week, you make more than enough to cover your lifestyle. We could call that, a form of financial freedom. You may own a company, and that company spits you out well enough to cover your burn, and you're rarely involved. To me, that business is an asset, it is an investment, and it does spit you out cash flow, but I call that kind of like the business, the entrepreneurial path. And number 3, and by the way, there could be a mix of all this, but number 3 is you work, you trade your time for money, and then you take that money, you invest it, and you keep investing until that investment income covers your burn. You're financially free. It's not a net worth number. I know a lot of people with high net worths, and they are far from financially free. They got the cars, the jets, the houses. And by the way, I'm not making that a bad thing either. They don't want to be financially free in that season of their life. They're just pushing harder. That's fine. To me, you could sum up financial freedom this way: is if you walked away from what you're doing right now, would you be okay for the next 5 or 10 years? If the answer is yes, that's a pretty beautiful form of financial freedom. You have optionality. So what I love about DeFi is I can be holding on to assets that I want to invest in for the long term anyways. The second you wrap your head around this, your life changes. Hey, I would hold on to this asset anyways. And even if I'm converted fully into this asset, I'm okay because I hold it in my bull run anyway. But hey, why don't I just create some cash flow from it while I'm at it? And this is where some skills and knowledge comes in, which, by the way, chances are this book is already out. CryptoLabsResearch.com/book. We've taken everything we know when it comes to DeFi and creating portfolios and investing in crypto and really just thinking in terms of wealth and cash flow and building financial freedom. We put it all into our new book. You can find it on Amazon. 100% of the sales do go to charity, so it's a win for everyone. Buy a couple, give them to your friends. You're supporting a great cause at the same time. But the point is, yes, there is a learning curve, and I think that's where most people aren't willing to step into. They're jumping onto an LP, they're doing a random range, they're not hedging, they're chasing the APR, and they do end up getting wrecked. But the point is, cash flow is key, and you don't have to just sit on your assets and hope they go up. You can create cash flow from them. That's the beauty of DeFi. Literally spend 15 minutes on DeFi Buddy. Simulate some positions. Play with it. Check out some of the trusted protocols. Play with the simulator. Track your portfolio. Like, really dive in and sink your teeth into it, because once it clicks, it'll click. Oh, I don't just have to hold my assets. I can create cash flow from them. Again, to the tune of, $7,000, $8,000. This will fluctuate because, of course, APRs and my returns are always fluctuating, but call it, 7, 8 grand a month, 100 grand a year. And then I take my fees and I reinvest them. And I'm going to do that for the next decade, because I want to take the fiat money that I earn and put it into assets that have the greatest chance of at least holding their value. But of course, we're looking for appreciation. So most of my money that comes into my life gets funneled right back into crypto. Not saying do the same, but study, learn this stuff. I know DeFi is the future. I have a ton of conviction, and I make my decisions based on that. And I'm not afraid of any short-term bear markets, because my long-term approach is bullish. If people could get that, they'd be so successful in this space. With that said, I'm going to wrap the video up there. Get a copy of the book. I know for a fact you will not be disappointed. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more. And in the comments, let me know, how can we help you? What questions do you have? What would you love to see on DeFi Buddy? We're always looking for new projects and new protocols to partner with. And with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Happy investing. We'll talk soon. Peace.